Jets versus the Cowboys, Steve, because both of our teams are in bad shape. Not only this season, but I want to talk about who's in better shape for the future. The Cowboys this offseason, the writing was on the wall. This is why I'm not emotional about it. I'm a lifelong Cowboys fan. I am not shedding. I mean, I put a bet in yesterday, Eagles money line, a Saquon touchdown that didn't hit. But I had Hurts to score. I don't care. I'll make money against my own team. I don't care. I care about my bankroll when it's all said and done. But it sucks being a Cowboys fan right now. But this offseason, right, like the NFL tells us a lot if we pay attention and put our fandom aside. A long offseason with contracts, first and foremost in the news with CeeDee Lamb gets done a week before Dak, the day of kickoff of the regular season. Losing your starting center, your starting left tackle, replacing them with rookies. Not a good look. Losing Dan Quinn, who likes Saleh, who we'll get to. The players love him and will play for him. Who do you replace him with? Mike Zimmer, who's been out of the league. He was a consultant in Division I or II college football. So another guy out of the league, you bring him in. And I didn't quite think the Cowboys defensive personnel might not be a fit for Zimmer's system either. And we're seeing a little bit, but it's coming together a little bit more. But it just hasn't been a good fit this year. And the big kicker, Dallas has won 12 games 3 years in a row. This is the NFL. There's a lot of parity. There's eventually the wheels are going to fall off. It's going to happen to everybody except the Kansas City Chiefs. Right? That's just what it is. The Chiefs are the new Brady Patriots. So they're the outlier. But Dallas, 12 games. This was the year, if you pay attention, that the wheels were coming off. Week 1, they showed promise against Cleveland. They kicked their ass. Week 2, they got smoked against the Saints. That's when I knew right then and there, this was not it. And ever since that game, it hasn't been it. And they've been falling apart. When it comes to the Jets, the biggest issue with the Jets, and I'm a fan of the Jets, I root for the Jets. I love Aaron Rodgers. I love a lot of the Jets players. Firing Saleh, Steve, was the worst thing that team did. And we are seeing since that happened, the defense hasn't been the same. Why? Because the defense played for Saleh. And when you get rid of, and that was the strength of the team, even last year, that defense kept the Jets in every single game. They just didn't have the quarterback to win some of them. The defense is not playing for Ulbrich, and I don't think it's Ulbrich's issue. I think he's fine. I don't think the defense hates him. I think they're pissed that they lost their guy. And the Jets move that they should have made was replacing the OC, replacing the play caller, which eventually happened. Aaron Rodgers, everybody's blaming Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is not the problem. When you bring in a 40-plus-year-old Aaron Rodgers, you bring him in because you have the weapons for him to succeed. And at this age, you also need an elite defense. And what we're seeing right now without the elite defense is putting a lot more pressure on Aaron Rodgers to have to win football games. And he's making mistakes. It's a trickle-down effect. So both the Jets and the Cowboys are in really bad shape. But when it comes to the immediate future, if the Jets can figure out, even the Hassan Reddick thing, you brought him back too late. If the Jets, if they kept Aaron Rodgers and he's a year removed off the injury, and I think you get another, because, Tyron Smith's great. He's a Hall of Famer. He's not it. I think you get another left tackle in, get this defense right. I would take the Jets' future over the Cowboys' immediate future, at least for 2025.
Yeah, I disagree because, like you said, maybe Aaron Rodgers isn't the problem. This is just a Jets problem. Like I said about Joe Flacco, he lost 9-7 to Skylar Thompson. Does he do that on the Colts or the Browns? Probably not. He probably wins that game by 2 touchdowns because the Jets are just a complete shit show. I mean, this organization, I think it starts with Woody Johnson. I've been calling for his resignation for last maybe ever since Gary V came along and said he wanted to buy the Jets. I basically been saying they got to get rid of Woody Johnson because it's just not working out, man. So he goes in there, he gets rid of Saleh. The defense I thought was a little bit overrated anyway, but it just looks way worse now without him. And Rodgers has to take some blame though, because it's the Jets. It makes him look worse, but I mean, that was hideous. That was an absolute disastrous performance yesterday. And, it's just, you got Devontae Adams, you got Garrett Wilson, you got Brees Hall, you got everything you absolutely want. I know your boy Lazard's out. Maybe that's fucking hurting a little bit, but I'm just tired of this whole freaking team, man. And like you said, you're kind of numb to the Cowboys loss. I'm the same way. Ever since the butt fumble and Sanchez ran into that guy's ass, ever since then, I was like, fuck this team. And then, Rex Ryan's going with, I don't know, Greg McElroy. It's just like, and then they didn't take Allen. They took Darnold. It's just been one shit show after the other. So I think they're in worse position because, Rodgers is, he might be gone. Maybe he comes back next year. I don't even know if I want him. I think I want to search for my quarterback, a new quarterback. At least you guys have some stability with Dak, and you guys have missed key pieces on defense with Parsons finally coming back. Lawrence still out. Bland, he didn't play yesterday. So, yeah, man, I just think it's the Jets organization. I would give the Cowboys the nod as an organization over the Jets, even though the Cowboys have had their own struggles, not reaching the Super Bowls and playoff disasters as well. I mean, we haven't made the playoffs, and it's going to be maybe 15 straight years now.
I when it's all said and done, there's one Super Bowl champion, and when you and I put it this way, and maybe everybody looks at it different. The 49ers lost the Super Bowl last year. In 15 years, outside of 49ers fans, when somebody said, hey, who did the Chiefs beat in Super Bowl 2024? Nobody knows. Nobody gives a shit. And to me, there's no difference between last year's 49ers and the Carolina Panthers last year. Both of them were not Super Bowl champions. There's only one. So that's just how I look at, sports. There's only one champion. Every other team, like you're getting entertained. You got rooting interest.
It's nice to be respected, though.
It is.
I
get it.
A respectable team on the field,
But I mean, the Jets are still
not now. I mean, after that loss.
Yeah. Well, again, I think you were in better shape. The two biggest mishaps for the Jets was Hassan Reddick and Saleh.
Yeah. But I don't know if this was ever going to work. This might be a failed experiment no matter what, So 3-7, I mean, with all the expectations this team had, maybe they beat the Colts, maybe they beat the Seahawks, maybe they beat the Dolphins and the Jags, and they go on a little run here and we get a little more vibe. But until I see them fucking getting, I'm not getting my hopes up ever with this team. Never.
I thought yesterday, like that was a gutless performance. But I also want to give the Arizona Cardinals, the first place Arizona Cardinals, they need credit. They deserve credit. Their defense, they don't have to, like, I was one of the big ones this year. Hey, that offense is that Kyler is going to be prolific. They're going to have to score to win and score to stay in games. People are forgetting, including myself, Jonathan Gannon was a historic defensive coordinator. What he did in Philly, historic. And in year two, not a lot of personnel, but this defense looks good at times. And I don't I as long as Kyler stays healthy, I'm not discounting the Cardinals.
No, they have some good wins. They killed the Rams. They beat the Niners. They beat the Chargers. Chargers are 6-3. So yeah, I mean, they're a little inconsistent. They almost beat the Bills week 1 too. They were up in that game, and Josh Allen and the Bills came back to win 34-28. So yeah, Kyler's been a little inconsistent, but when he's on, he's playing well. And McBride's going, and Connor's going, and Harrison's going. And like you said, Gannon, he's done it before. And, that's why I was thinking even before the season, their defense could definitely get better as the season went on. I mean, they did just beat the Bears and the Jets the last 2 games, but I just mentioned all those key wins they had this year. So I think they're somewhat legit. We'll see how they play this week in Seattle.